Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that a lot of people struggle with, which is spending more time alone and getting to do that, enjoy it and love it. We have a lot of pressure to become in a couple, or we see on social media a lot of people are just like constantly out and celebrating with a group of friends. So we always feel like that's what we should be doing. It kind of creates a fear mindset of being alone, and you feel like that's what you should be doing and you're missing out on something, and you don't know how to actually enjoy your time being alone and being happy in that time. When you're spending time alone and you're able to enjoy it, like you're filling your cup again, that's such a powerful skill to have in life, because you're spending the most time with yourself your whole life, not with anyone else. You have to have that skill, because it will be a very tough life if you're going through it thinking, I'm gonna try and get that kind of enjoyment and entertainment constantly from others, and you can't even give that to yourself. I love to spend time alone. I spend time with myself all the time and I love it. It's like my favorite thing to do. I really feel like I am so recharged after that. I enjoy myself at home. I enjoy myself watching TV or cooking or just taking care of my skin or hair, or do just some whatever thing that I want to do to just make me feel happy and recharged. And I travel alone as well a lot, and I love that. It's like this is something that I have to do every summer. I always go on a trip by myself and do another trip with friends. Last year I went to the south of France twice. The first time I wanted to go alone and explore it and experience it by myself, and it was the best time I've had. It was so magical. You just get to know more of what you want to do out of life, and you ask yourself the questions that you want to do, and then you just realize like, okay, I love doing this and I want to do more of it, and I don't like this and I want to do less of it. You know, you just kind of figure yourself out. It's such a good bonding experience because you have to bond with yourself. So for that, I really want to embrace this conversation, and I want you to feel at the end of this video so excited to try and do your first time date with yourself and how you can just enjoy that experience. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing that comes to everybody's mind when they talk about being alone, and I had friends where I had these conversations with, the first thing they always say is just like, I don't like being with my own thoughts, or I have fear of what I might think about, things they haven't processed yet, things that happened in the past that they kind of just moved past it and they didn't really sit with it and think about it. And they always say like things just kind of start coming up. So they completely avoid spending time by themselves. They're constantly out with friends, with people, with anybody. And that makes the quality of people that you surround yourself with is not always the best, because you are settling for anything, any form of company, whether it was good or it was bad, because it's stemming from fear. Any decision you make that's out of fear, it's usually not the best decision. That's where I want to really start. The fear of being alone. You have to overcome that fear to be able to slowly get into a very good quality time that you can have with yourself. Like, we know there are a lot of people who unfortunately stay in really toxic, bad relationships because they'd rather be in that than being alone. There are people who make friendships with people that are not the right people to be around because they'd rather do that than be alone. I think sometimes also people, they feel like they get that validation they're looking for from being around people. If I'm not constantly with a group of people, out celebrating, having a good time, something must be off. Means people don't want to spend time with me, means I don't have friends, or no one likes me. This is a really deep thing that you have to kind of be honest with yourself. Are you trying to get that validation externally, or are you just really, really afraid because you don't want to face some of the things that you may have kept deep down, and you should have had that conversation with yourself? Maybe it's time for you to sit down and get to that conversation and see what is it that yourself really is struggling to tell you, is really struggling and dying, kind of have that discussion with yourself. Because I think the moment we give that to her, when you give that to yourself, that, okay, you know what, I'm gonna listen to you, what is it that you have to say, tell me, you become more at ease and you feel more safe and calm and secure, because you've given yourself that space to just say what it wants to say. Let your thoughts go wild and let it say what it wants to say to you, because who else is it going to come out to? Who else? If you're constantly making it quiet and shutting it down, and you're out and busy and keeping yourself busy, That's a really sad part of you that you're just kind of neglecting. It's forever going to be there, and you're never going to genuinely feel happy, because you can't even spend 2 seconds alone without starting to feel like that voice is starting to be like, can I talk? Can I say something? So you need to have that conversation with it. You need to sit down with yourself and see, what is it that you're so afraid of from coming out? It goes through levels. If you need to kind of like actually have a therapist that can help you through these conversations, especially if you don't know where to start, having a therapist can help you a lot with that. That's where I think it's a good idea to start. I always say being alone is so much better than being with the wrong company and feeling lonely, because you can be alone, you can go through whatever thoughts that are scaring you and have these conversations and then be at peace. But you can be with so many people around you and you can feel so lonely and so empty inside. Why would you want to waste years and time of your life feeling that feeling when the solution is there? You can just leave and go home to yourself that you've built and made it your safety, peaceful space with yourself, because you've given that to yourself. You can now, whenever you're out with people you don't like, whenever you're out and you're not having fun, whenever you're in a relationship or you're starting to date someone that is an annoying person, then you can just be like, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave because I've created a safe space for myself that I'll just rather go to and enjoy at peace. Being able to spend time alone, you're creating a safe space for you. Like, then no matter what, whatever kind of people that come into your life, you will have zero tolerance, because you don't need it. You simply don't need it. You don't need their company. You don't need that validation. You're not dying for that social life. You're good. So you only give that time to the good people, because you're letting that bad energy go early on, and you go back to yourself. You're able to leave space for good people to come in, because you're getting rid of the bad so early on and you're not entertaining it. You're not giving it your time, because you'd rather be alone anyway than put up with whatever BS. Then you can just go home, and then there is a better space for greater and better people to come in. Being alone is not about isolating yourself. It's actually knowing so much about you, and you've created such a safe space. You can now have good quality people in your life. Even when you decide to spend time with them, you're not drained, you're not tired, you're happy. And then you go back home and you're still happy. So you've created such great, like, you're happy with these people because they're amazing and you've made that happen. And then you're happy when you're alone. And then you're just like, you're constantly having your cup being filled with great emotions and happiness and love. It goes so much deeper when you just decide to spend time alone. Please learn so. It is so nice, because I love spending time alone. I travel a lot alone. I go to restaurants. I take myself out on dates. I am going to go to the movies after this. I'm gonna watch Baby Girl, which I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of kind of mixed reviews about it. But anyways, there's this also like this thing that I think you tend to people please with whatever the group is going for, whatever they're gonna do. You're just like, yeah, I'm down. I'm down for anything. You become emotionally drained. You're pleasing everybody. You're saying yes to things you don't want to say yes to. And you don't give yourself that space to kind of just be like, let's think about it. Do we actually want to do that or not? As I'm reading, oh, this is actually a really good point. I just thought about it. I'm reading now The Courage to be Disliked. I will actually have a review of this on my channel, as I'm doing a book a month. It said, shit, I forgot my point. What was it say? Wait, it said something about, oh my God, I forgot the point I wanted to make. There was something so good in the book that I read and I was just like, hold on. I completely forgot. I was so excited with the idea and I was just like, oh. But I read something that just was relevant to this conversation. But anyways, I remember when I started, like, I'm so annoyed that I forgot what I wanted to say about this. I'm really annoyed. It was so good. Wait, can I remember it? Hold on. I forgot. I'm gonna hopefully, like, in the review, I remember it. But anyways, now, as I have mentioned, you have to start to see how you can enjoy your own company. Remember when I started, like, spending time alone? I was like in mid school. I took myself out, but actually, wait, let me make a very important distinction. When you're like in uni and you have to have lunch or have coffee during your study break, go take a break, you eat something, you're sitting alone, that doesn't count as spending time alone. That's just, you are alone in that situation and you just have to like eat or do something, and then you're actually like in the middle of a kind of a task. When I say spending time alone, you dedicate a time, almost like you're gonna be on a date with yourself. When you go on a date, you want to enjoy that company, you want to enjoy that person that you're with. You have to kind of do that for yourself as well. Being alone gives you the freedom to do whatever you want, anytime you want, wherever you want. It's all about what you want. It's not about anybody else. It's just you and you. You want to eat now, you want to go for a walk, you want to go to a movie, whatever you want and whatever your heart desires, you can just go and do it. And you don't need anyone else in that journey with you because it's just all about you. I started, like, I think I remember I was just like going to dinners, and then I went to the movies a lot because I loved movies. I think you can start with that. Little things, like I would go to cafes alone. I would literally just leave the house, look nice, walk to the cafe, sit down, order my coffee, and enjoy it. I'm with my computer, or I'm just listening to a podcast, or I'm just listening to music and watching people come and go, or I have my book I'm reading, or whatever it is. That's it. You just go on that walk and have coffee. And you can look nice too. You can like feel good because, again, you're on a date with yourself. Why not look good for yourself? You have to feel that way. Slowly, you will start to enjoy it. You can do like a 30-minute thing a week. That's just for you. You just start like this. You can plan every week, what is it that you're gonna do? Okay, you know what, 30-minute for next week. I wanna be at home, I wanna pick a movie, and I wanna buy a popcorn, and I wanna do my skincare, and just do that. Just start with 30 minutes. Slowly, you're really gonna enjoy that time with yourself, and you're gonna look forward to it, because it's gonna be like, this is where you recharge. You do everything that you wanna do. Do the things that makes you feel fulfilled and recharged, and like you're filling your cup with so much love that you're giving to yourself. Absolutely zero external sources. It's just coming from you to you. That's it. No one has any influence on this. No one has any power. No one has any effect on it. It's just something you're going to do for yourself to make yourself feel good. That in itself is so much power that with time you will feel that power of the ability of being alone and spending a good time alone and enjoying it. It is such a power, an amazing skill to have in life. That in that time, you will discover so much about yourself. You will discover what is it you love, what is it that you don't, what is it you want to do more of, and what is it you want to do less of. I have friends who might want to do all kinds of activities, and I'm like, you know what? They're my friends, they're great people, but that activity is not for me. You could just be like, no, you guys have fun, I'm not gonna do that, I'm not into it. Or I'm just not into it maybe now. Slowly know yourself. Like a friend could be like, listen, I'm gonna go for a run. You don't want to wake up and go for a run. I'd rather personally run on a treadmill. I don't like running outside. I tried a couple of times, but then because I am emergency, I see the number of like accidents that happens. For safety, for me, I feel safer when I'm on a treadmill. When a friend tells me, listen, I'm going to the park to run, I'm like, no, you go have fun, I'm good. What's the reason? For me, I don't feel comfortable running outside. I'd rather run on a treadmill. I know myself in that way. So when a friend that comes to you and be like, let's do 1, 2, 3, you can know yourself well enough to say, no, that's not something I'm interested in. But thank you, have fun. Let me know how it goes. That's it. It takes time to feel comfortable being alone, and that's also really normal. Being alone, it doesn't mean you're lonely. It doesn't mean you're isolated. It just means that you have that time, that freedom in that time to do whatever you want. It gives you more understanding of who you are, and you kind of take your power from any external sources that you needed to feel yourself strong. With time, when you have that kind of mindset, you will get comfortable. I think like sometimes like in society, we can feel like rushed to get into relationships or do something that maybe we don't actually want to do. See on social media, like the perfect couple and the perfect friend group, and they have the perfect social life, and they travel together and they do all these things together. And you can feel like, oh my God, am I doing something wrong? Like, is that what it should be like? Be very careful from falling in that trap. Social pressures can be insane, especially with social media now, because you see these people living their lives and you're like, how come I can't do that? It must mean I'm doing something wrong. I need to find anybody. And you're just kind of in that desperate state. You end up falling to the wrong like circles and people and relationships even. So don't let any social pressures or society pressures make you move in the wrong way and not what's best for you. And also, like, with that, as you're spending more time alone, you start to know what is it you want out of life. You start to understand your goals. You start to understand the kind of future you want to have. For you to have that kind of future, you have to consider the kind of people that are around you, the kind of circles you run in. You'll make a lot of changes. You start to have a clearer vision of your future. Because there's going to be a lot of change that you have to do, you will need to stand up for yourself more. You will need to protect your peace so well. No BS. No one can come in and think they can try and miss something and compromise this space that you've built. You will be really like a mama bear to yourself, because no one can come in and try to mess this thing that you've worked so hard to build and be comfortable in and enjoy that space and make it for you. It took you this whole process to get it done, and it takes a lot of self-work for you to let some random person coming in thinking that they can ruin that peace and that space for you. Your standards for life and for people around you will be so high and will change. The way you will stand up for yourself, you will have so much courage that like you've never had before. That alone is such a good life skill to have, and you can have it when you learn how to be alone. It just goes deeper on so many levels of just the importance of learning how to be alone, and it changes your personality and your self-growth on so many levels. Since we are still in the beginning of 2025, I think this is something really important to work on. If this is something you're struggling with, it'll change your life. You will grow so much from this, and you will learn so much. It might be uncomfortable at first, but this discomfort won't last long. But the skills you will have, the strength that you will have from this journey, and the lessons you'll learn will last forever. So it's absolutely worth it to stay with this discomfort, to get to the kind of person you want to be, which is a strong person who can spend time alone and who can have a good time on their own, and they don't need anyone for that. So that's that. I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video helped you. Let me know in the comments if you already enjoy spending time alone and what is it that you enjoy doing. If you are struggling and this is something you want to change hopefully this year, we can talk more about it in the comments. Let me know. I would love to hear it. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.